What's going on, guys? I'm back with a brand new animated series review for you guys. And I just watched a show called Invincible. Well, I didn't just watch it, but you get it. You get it. Starring Steven Yeun, J.K. Simmons. I'm glad I said the right name this time. Not Rollins. And Sandra Oh. First of all, since this is a mature animated show, we're going to talk about some of the best mature adult animated series. All right. And I didn't include Harley Quinn in this one. You know why? Because yes, it's raunchy and they say bad words and it's okay. And kids shouldn't be watching it. Of course, kids shouldn't be watching this. But it's not mature. It's not mature at all. It's not really mature by the farthest or the slightest. Okay. It's very immature, matter of fact. There's a lot of curse words in it. Not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's not going to be on this list. Okay. I'm talking about shows that were, so mature that some adults just didn't get it. Some adults, it went way over their heads. And that's very sad. But yes, that happened with a lot of these shows. Okay. And my first one I need to talk about Spawn, the animated series for HBO, the only one. Okay, before this, I barely knew that much about Spawn, to be honest with you. I don't think I had a chance to even read the comic books yet at the time, before the show just popped on out. And I got to learn about this entire being named Spawn, man, okay? This guy is deep. It was violent, and there's a lot of sex going on in that cartoon. All right. And I wasn't used to that with a cartoon at the time, unless it was anime. Besides that, an American style show doing this was unheard of to me. And then to watch this show and see what they had in there. It only lasted like 2 seasons. But with everything going on, I wish it would have gone on a little longer than it went. All right. It should have. It deserved to go on longer. I wish HBO would bring it back. They need to bring this show back. This is the best piece of work I've seen them do with Spawn ever when it comes to live action or any adaptation from the comic books. Okay, and there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot out there with it. So this is the best. Okay, Todd McFarlane did himself overtime putting the show out. I enjoyed this. I watched this religiously. The art style, everything just blended in like it should have. Another one. Batman, the animated series. Okay, when this came out, this was something I came home from school and I waited. I waited till the sun went down because that's when the show actually came on. All right, I just waited for that. It came on with the other adult shows. That's what was going on. Even though it wasn't as rowdy as Spawn, not even close. But still, as you're a kid, you're watching it, all you're worried about is pow, bang, boom, and the fights. You're not really worried about or thinking about what's really going on with the complex dialogue going on in the whole show. What they're actually talking about, the subjects, the storylines, the deeper meaning to the storylines, underlining to it. You're not seeing it as a kid, okay? It's not clicking to you. There's one episode with Harley Quinn and Joker, and it seemed like Joker's on the brink. Well, he pushes her out the window, pretty much. It's really a domestic violence thing going on there. Probably the first time he did this. It's not the first time. But as a kid, you don't get it. And Batman's sitting there telling her, you need better. You deserve better. Low key, Batman had a crush on her. And it's something else I didn't see either. I didn't click to me as well. I don't read the comic books. Still don't read the DC comic books. It's not no offense to them. It's just I enjoy the animated series and the animated shows better than that. You know, just saying. So I didn't catch all of that as a kid. I just saw the boom, pang, pow, pow, and the fighting. And I liked it. And I kept watching every episode. All right. Now that I'm an adult, I can appreciate the storylines better with that series. All right. Another one. Castlevania. Yes, this is the adaptation from the video game itself. All right. Before that show came on, all I knew was Velmont or whatever his name was from the game, and it was a little boring to me. Not one of my favorite video games, but when the show came out, the show did the game a lot of justice. To the point where I would just prefer watching the show than playing the damn game. Okay, easily. This guy, he's a drunkard on here. It's just like he accidentally saves the day. He just doesn't want to do it, but because it's in his blood. It's not like he's trying to make his family lineage proud. I don't think he cares about that. But it's the fact that it's just in him to do these things and fight these monsters and the vampires and blah, 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 blah. And so here comes the adventures. I haven't gotten past season 3, so I need to finish those episodes before I can truly give my opinion. And when I do, I will get back to you wholeheartedly. Don't worry. All right. Next one we got going here is Gargoyles. Now, this is the one. This is the one that completely went over my head as a kid. Way more than the Batman series. Okay, this show talked about the Illuminati to kids. This had a whole group of Illuminati in there. That shouldn't even been in the show. But the Gargoyles fought against the Illuminati every dang episode, and we didn't realize this. I didn't realize it. It was very deep and a little scary. Now I think about it, they're putting this off the kids, but not in a way that would damage a kid's head. It's just the fact that they're doing it. They had to do it. All right. So I will also go over this show again as an adult I am now. Because as a kid, I really didn't like this show that much. Didn't really grab me. But now I must go and get a second look at what the adult missed. All right. Another show. Eon Flux. This is an MTV thing right here. All right. This is an MTV era at its finest. Beavis and Butthead, The Head, all of that. This is all, like, I think before that, but just the art style of this alone, the weird style that it represented immediately caught my eye. I'd never seen anything like that. The way they came onto the screen, and everybody was skinny. Everybody was tall and skinny in this show. And there were no overweight people or fat people. I don't think there were. Short people, nothing. All tall, skinny people. And they were all weird looking. And the whole show was weird. And it didn't really have a beginning and end that made sense. But for some reason, I just kept watching the show. It reeled me in because I had never seen anything like this. And it was some things that are so disgusting at the same time intriguing in that show. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but that's what it was. Then we have, last but not least, Uncanny X-Men, the animated series. This was my favorite. It should have been the top one. But Spawn's a hard one to beat when we're talking about a mature cartoon. This wasn't as mature as Spawn, or maybe not even Batman. Might be the third coming in. But still, it was my favorite one. It was the only reason I would get up so early on a Saturday morning for such a long time. A long ass time. All right. Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, Gambit, Storm, the whole crew, Beast. They put all the essential characters in there. Well, not every one of them, but they tried. There was some legal things keeping them from putting everybody in there, but the ones they couldn't put in there all the way, they were like cameos. They were quick cameos of them, and they wouldn't talk or anything. Of course, that's the only way they could add it in, but they could show them as characters, just kind of walking through the screen real quick. I appreciated that. I appreciated the whole little love triangle they showed between Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean, because you really didn't get a lot of stuff like that in kids shows, because kids were not supposed to understand what was going on. All right. I mean, if you're not too dumb, you could get a hint, but you don't stand the full throttle meaning of what's going on there. All right. So I did. I've seen too much before I watched that show. Trust me. HBO. But still one of my top ones. It's just a hard battle between Spawn and Batman for me with that one. And now we have Invincible on the line. And my question is, of course, can Invincible be just as good as the ones I just mentioned? We're about to find out. Let's go. Invincible, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, you don't know. You don't know. I'm late on doing this whole review. Matter of fact, this is a catch-up edition. I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video. This is a catch-up edition review. I'm late on doing this. All right? I'm late on watching it. The whole world, anybody who's even interested in this, you're not late on it. You're not late. There's only a few of us. So don't do this. Don't do this. Just stop. I should penalize myself, but I'm not going to do that. All right? Because I'm me. Invincible. Pretty much, it's about this young kid named Mark, who has a famous superhero dad who doesn't know what's going on with his dad or why his dad is so famous. His dad one day explains to him, one day you're going to be just like your dad. Your dad comes from this planet called Viltrumite. And, we do all these great things. We help build other planets. And anyways, yeah, he fed all this to him as a kid so he could get prepared when he gets his powers. Finally, he's going to teach him to be just like dad. Well, it took a little long. And Mark was a late bloomer for those powers. So when he finally got those powers, the dad had lived his life on Earth. He lived it so long. He fell in love with the mother. He actually started loving her, which he won't admit it. He called her a pet, but he started loving her. He really loved her. And, he fell in love with her. He loved everything about his family and some things on Earth. And then when he realized, oh man, Mark's getting his powers. My mission. I'm not going to say what his mission was for those who still haven't seen it, but his mission was crucial. And now he had to teach Mark how to use his powers just in time for that mission to be completed. And that's pretty much the premise to the whole show. All right. Positives. This had to have one of the best soundtracks for an animated series I've ever heard, ever in life. Okay, I'm serious. I have not heard anything else like this on any of the other ones that I mentioned. Not even if you want to pull Harley Quinn in here. I think she had some music. I can't remember. I think she did. I'm not even sure. See, if you can't remember, then maybe it's not worth even mentioning. But yes, it's crazy because the music in here is so damn good. Okay, there's even one by Radiohead, the Karma Police. I hadn't heard that song in such a long time. Then he brought it up, and it brought back memories. And to put it on the right part of the show, every song was in the right part of the show. So whoever did that, they knew what they were doing. All right. Another positive. The realistic approach to the show was very appreciated. Okay. It was so real with every word, every dialogue, every line that was spoken, every storyline, it fit right in. This is how people would react in a situation like this, if you really had powers, you would react like this. Okay, you wouldn't know your first time having sex that this is good. And that's for season 2. I don't know why I mentioned that. But yes, it's a lot of realistic things. How would the dad react? How would the dad react when he knows he has underlined intentions for his son? How would he keep up the facade? The whole charade? Would he keep it up? How would he do it? How would he go upon acting about this? Understand what I'm saying? How would the mother act? Not knowing that she's in the dark the whole time. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. All right. She's just completely lost. And so for her to just go through the motions of, I don't know what's going on in my family anymore. What is happening? I feel like I'm being left out of something. And the son was too, unknowingly. Okay. So it's so realistic within the way it's presented. Another positive. The bloody beatdowns. The bloody beatdowns in the show were crazy. Okay, they were insane. Every fight, someone lost something. A limb, an eye, too much blood, a life at the most. Of course, a head. There were no fights where it was just a clean fight, where it was just a soft fight. No, from the battle beast to every fight that Omni Man is in, the father, every fight he's in, it's rather rough. It's rather rough, bro. Okay, guarantee you that. This is the best. This is one of the best ones for that one. All right, I put it right next to Spawn, to be honest with you. As far as the blood and the gore and the guts goes, this brings it to you. If you're weak of the stomach, don't watch the fight scenes. This is going to be red every time. All right. Another positive. Omni Man was the heart, not the heart. He might rip some hearts out, but Omni Man was the life of the show. I'll put it like that. Without Omni Man in the show, I don't think I'd watch it because honestly, Mark is not that interesting to hold the show by itself. I'm sorry. He's a good character. But it only works when you have Omni Man in the puzzle. It only works that way. Omni Man is so complicated as a character. And he's put together very well. Like he has the underlined intentions, the undertone intentions, and he's keeping it up so good with the whole act he's playing. And just to be inside his mind and his head and think, what would you do if you came from a planet that told you need to do this and this and that? All right, in order to make it back alive, or we're gonna come for you, and we're gonna have some words for you if you don't do this. So what would you do? What would go through your head? Would you take the mission? Would you go against your own squad? Would you? Or would you do what you're supposed to do? All right. And that's the thing he's faced with throughout this entire series. And to see him play it out and the whole thing hit him like, oh, I have to actually teach my son now the thing he needs to do in order to survive. I have to do it. And he's a Viltrumite. He's a Viltrum. So he's going to go about it his own way. And he has his own way of handling it, which is definitely not how humans handle that. And he's so cold and calculating with it. It's crazy. It's like the worst father of the year prize goes to Omni Man. Worst father. But in his mind, he thinks he's being the best father he's supposed to be. All right, just put it like that. That makes his character probably a greater, in my opinion. All right. Negatives. How is Monster Girl expected to make it past 2 seasons? if you don't know what I'm talking about, Monster Girl is a character within the show who every time she transforms into the green monster, like a Hulk type thing, she gets younger. So when we're introduced to Monster Girl, she's already like what, a 12-year-old girl, I want to say. Or maybe younger than that. I think she's 8. I think she's 8 years old already. And every time you change, you get younger. So how are they going to keep this up? How are they going to keep this up? She can't last that long until she's an embryo. She's an embryo again. Still with a 20-year-old girl's mind. How is this possible? I don't think this is even going to work like that. It's not going to work. All right. I want to see what kind of bull they're going to try to pull out, okay, to make an excuse for her still being on the show by season, I say 5, if they even go that far. All right. How is she still going to be on the show? No. Hey, we're not making any sense here, are we? Another negative. I don't like Rexplode. And I think that's a given attitude you're supposed to have towards the character. I think it's purposely supposed to be a character that you hate or annoyed by, but in some moments, I think they really think he's funny. And he's funny. Yes, he has some funny moments. All right. They're not on purpose. All right. It's some accidental funny moments for him. He's just a jabbering idiot. He's a jabbering idiot. And I'm waiting for the episode when somebody can shut him the hell up permanently. And he's supposed to be a good guy. But I want him just out of there. I want him out of there. He has to go. Rexplode has to go. Now, I haven't read all the comics yet, so I don't know what's going to happen, really. But I really need there to be an end to Rexplode soon. Promise me that. Will you promise me that, please? I'm waiting. Okay. Another negative. Episode 6 was one of the most unnecessary episodes I've ever seen on a show. Not really. But for a show like this, which is an animated series, not like a Naruto, which is anime, remember? This was a filler. This was their first filler. I'm saying it right now. This is officially their first filler right here. If nobody else wants to admit this, I'll admit it. It's their first filler. Okay? I did not care about the robots, the guys being turned into robots, and Mark and his friend going on this vacation or whatever the hell, and the guy that whatever. Okay? I didn't care about any of that. That was such a weak plot. Weak. And it didn't have anything to do with the rest of the show. Kinda, because there's a character that comes out of that kind of leaks into the rest of the situation. But other than that, no, you could have kept that. Please. I think my last negative. You're going to have to step it up on the mature level for this show. There is an episode coming up, or should be coming up because it's in the comic books, where a woman has her way with Mark from Viltrumite. You can't hold back on it. Let's just say season 2, which is halfway done, it kind of stopped. There was already some love making going on, which they didn't show everything. They just showed them getting to it. Then they cut the lights off, and next scene, you're going to have to do more than that with the one that's coming up. If they choose to show it on the show, you got to do better than that one. All right. Do not mess that up. But with that, I'm still giving this a hell yes. This show is incredible. The animation was great. I forgot to mention that. And my other two favorite characters are the dumb twins. I don't know what their names are, but they're on there. All right. I love those characters. Okay. Very well put together characters. I have to say this. All right. Press that like button, share, and you better subscribe.